everyone. So this is our group discussion results, and I will explain the first and second points of our presentation, which are the context description and the purpose of the text. First, let's talk about the context description. We make a scenario where our learners have a total of 25 students from grade 11 of senior high school. Their English proficiency levels range from A2 to B1. These mean that the students have different English levels of ability. Some students are still learning the basic vocabulary and grammar, while others are already able to understand text more independently. As for the learning setting, is in a school classroom. Since English itself is learned as a foreign language, students may not use English often outside the classroom. Therefore, classroom activities become very important to help students improve their English. Because the students have different proficiency levels, the teacher must prepare activities and assessments that are suitable and supportive for all students. The material should help lower level students understand the lesson while also encouraging higher level students to think more critically. So, this context description helps us understand the learners, their proficiency levels, and a learning situation before designing the assessment. The next one is about the purpose of the test. The test we design is a formative assessment where it is conducted in the middle during the learning process over the past few weeks to monitor students' understanding and progress. The purpose of this test is to identify students' strengths and weaknesses after learning over several weeks in class. This assessment is useful because it helps teachers know which areas students already understand and which areas still need improvement. For example, some students may understand the reading text well but still have difficulties in organizing ideas while writing. Formative assessment is also appropriate because students are still in the learning process. Us as teachers can provide feedback to help students improve their skills and understanding. And also, besides helping students, this assessment also helps teachers improve their teaching methods. If students face similar difficulties, in the near future, when we are becoming a teacher, we can give more explanation, give additional practice, or different learning activities. Overall, the purpose of the formative task itself is not only to give scores, but also to support students' learning development and improve the classroom teaching and learning activities. Alright? So for the next point will be explained by my partner, Ano.
Thanks for laying out that context. Now that we understand who we are testing and why, let's look at exactly what we are measuring. Our assessment is built around a specific skill focus. As you can see from the paper, we have opted for integrated skills. In a real classroom, reading and writing are not isolated. They are like two sides of the same coin. Students need to process information from a text before they can effectively express their own ideas in writing. We have broken this down into two different layers. First, let's talk about the micro skills. These are the nuts and bolts. We are looking for their grasp of vocabulary and grammar within the context of the reading. Let's just say, can they identify the main idea, or can they find a specific piece of information without getting lost? This gives us a clear look at their basic literacy level. Secondly, the macro skills. This is where it gets more complex because we are trying to evaluate their overall reading comprehension and their ability to organize ideas on paper. We want to see their coherence and cohesion, making sure that their coherence are not just correct, but that they actually flow together to make a logical point. It's about moving from just reading to actually interpreting the message. So, how do we actually put those skills to the test? That brings us to our test design. Our test consists of 20 questions in total, but it has been already distributed across 3 formats to keep the students engaged and to provide us with diverse data. First, let's talk about the multiple choice with 10 items that we use only with 2 samples. These are the signs for efficiency and clarity. Students circle the best answer based on the text. You can see in our first example with the text that has the title of The Danger of Smoking. We use this format to check literal comprehension, like asking, why is smoking dangerous? Or identifying specific disease. It's a low stress way for A2 and B1 students to show that they have understood the core facts. Next, fill in the blanks type question with 8 items that we also give to samples. This section moves into grammar and vocabulary application. Student text words provided in the text and use them to complete new sentence. For instance, they might need to use the word affected or harmful correctly. This tests if they can recognize the function of a word, not just by its meaning. And then finally, we have essay questions with 2 items, but we only use 1 sample for it. This is the peak of the integration. We decide to use the fable of the ant and the grasshopper to prompt an opinion-based response. We are not just asking them what happened in the story. We are asking them to correct the story's theme, praying for the future to real life. This requires them to summarize, form an opinion, and organize their thoughts into a cohesive written response. By combining these 3 types, we ensure that we are testing everything from basic word recognition to high-level critical thinking. That covers the structure and focus of our test. Now then, I'll hand it over to discuss how we actually grade this response in the scoring
Now
method.
I will explain the scoring method of our test. The test consists of 3 sections. There are multiple choice, fill in the blanks, and essay. First, the multiple choice section contains 10 questions. Each correct answer is worth 2 points, while wrong answers receive 0 points. The total score for this section is 20 points. Second, the fill in the blanks section contains 8 questions. Each correct answer is worth 5 points, and wrong answers receive 0 points. The total score for this section is 40 points. Third, the essay section contains 2 questions. Each essay is worth 20 points. So the total score for this essay section is 40 points. For the essay assessment, we use a scoring rubric with 5 criteria. These criteria are reading comprehension, summary writing, critical thinking, organization, grammar, and vocabulary. Students who perform excellently show complete understanding, clear summaries, logical opinions, well-organized ideas, and accurate grammar. Meanwhile, students with lower performance may show unclear understanding, incomplete summaries, weak organization, and frequent grammar mistakes. So finally, the total score distribution is divided into 20 points for multiple choice, 40 points for in the blanks, and 40 points for easy. Altogether, the maximum score is 100 points. Now, I will explain the rationale of our test. The test that we design is aligned with the purpose of formative assessment. It helps teachers monitor students' progress during the learning process. The reading and writing tasks are suitable for senior high school students at the A2 to B1 proficiency level because the tasks are challenging but still understandable for them. This test also integrates reading and writing skills. Students need to understand the text first before expressing their ideas in written form. Therefore, the question type we selected are appropriate to measure students' comprehension, grammar, vocabulary, and critical thinking skills. In addition, the test supports students in practicing reading, answering questions, and writing opinions. Through this activity, students can receive feedback about their strength and weakness. As a result, they are encouraged to improve their reading comprehension and writing organization. Lastly, the test is considered valid, practical, and reliable because the questions met the learning objectives. The instructions are clear, and the scoring rubric helps teachers assess students fairly and consistently.